Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
People taking their own lives, attacks, self-harm have soared to record levels in prisons across England and Wales. New figures show that there were a total of 354 deaths behind bars last year, while assaults on staff went up by 2/5. The Justice Secretary Liz Truss said that the government was taking action, but admitted the problem wouldn't be solved in weeks or months. And campaigners say the prison crisis is fast spiralling out of control, as our social affairs editor Jackie Long now reports.
Dean would always go out his way to help people, and then when he really needed the help, it just wasn't there.
For every death in prison, there's a family left behind. Dean Saunders had never been in trouble before when, during his first ever attack of paranoia, he tried to stab his brother, then cut his own throat. His father, Mark, stepped in to stop him and was stabbed in the stomach himself. Dean was put on remand for attempted murder in Chelmsford Prison. No hospital bed was available. He electrocuted himself in his cell just over a fortnight later.
I think it's the bowling. I think, you know, I said to you, didn't I, if he'd have been an animal, he would have got better treatment.
It's like I said, it's a horrible thought, but if I didn't save him that night, then he would have died in my arms. Amongst people he loved, instead of
feeling abandoned by us because we couldn't get to him.
And in a cold, lonely cell, because that's all we done, and had 2 weeks of, well, torture.
An inquest just last week concluded Dean was the victim of multiple failings by the prison service and healthcare provider there, Care UK. Not least a decision to reduce observation levels on Dean because of financial considerations. For his parents, today's figures leave them sad, but certainly not surprised.
It hasn't exploded overnight. This has been festering for years and gradually getting worse. And it's got to that point now where they're going to have to, it's going to cost them a lot of money to put it right, but it wouldn't have.
The figures, the safety in custody statistics, show deaths in prison at record levels. 119 people took their own life behind bars, up by nearly a third. There was a 23% increase in the number of incidents of self-harm, and violence in prisons continued to escalate, with assaults in custody up by 31% to a record 25,000.
We don't need more reviews, we don't need more evidence. This government have got to act, and a starting point is a dramatic reduction in the prison population. Because if the government don't act, we're going to see this scandalous death toll continue.
In a statement this evening, the Ministry of Justice acknowledged deaths in prison were too high and said it was working to bring the numbers down. It said we are investing £100 million annually to boost the front line by 2,500 officers. These are long-standing issues that will not be resolved in weeks or months, but our whole-scale reforms will lay the groundwork to transform our prisons. Dean's family say they'll campaign until that transformation is a reality, and prisoners like Dean are kept safe.
There was no value on his life. To them, there was just the charge that was on his head, and he wasn't looked at as a person. I see it as he was looked at as a number, another prisoner, and not a life at all. He was our person, he was our family member, and he deserved so much more. He had so much life left to live, and it was just robbed.
Today's figures are a stark reminder of how much change is needed, but how quickly that change will come is less easy to predict.
I've been getting away with it all